Okay. I was just doing some ASMR until somebody showed up. Good morning, cubies and newbies. I am Sunshine, and this is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cube. And I'm doing. Hi, you guys. I have 49 followers. Do the thing. Get me to 50. Okay. All right. It's Friday, end of the week, and I'm doing the side corners and edges today. Yes, I am working on that. Thank you for that. You've given me some ideas, and I do remember you. Thank you. And I'm mentally preparing my my elevator pitch for it. You know, if you know the 1 minute spiel that you can give in an elevator to which will be the okay, but I'm just getting it in my head. I have executive dysfunction. I have to think about it until I get it ready to come out. I appreciate that. That's really great. I'm excited about that. So I appreciate you. Please do not be impatient with me. I take time to do the thing. Okay. I just found, as far as doing the thing, I just found goblintools.com. Which is like really great. It takes a task that you need to do and you put it in there, and then it like breaks it down into subtasks for you. You click the magic wand button and it breaks it down into subtasks for you. And then you can click the magic button on one of the magic wand on one of the subtasks, and it'll break it down for you. So I'm like, I've been trying to get up the gumption to edit and correct a couple of things on my speed solving pages. So I used Goblin Tool and it helped me. Okay, so I managed to update and correct some of the things on my profile page, and added like links to the ABCube site, the ABCube page, to be more inclusive. But it helped me actually get started and do the thing. Which is why it took me 10 years to create this method. 5 years to create the method, and then another 5 to rewrite it from the 5x5 perspective rather than from the 3x3 perspective, because it's like everybody in the world. Oh, you showed your stream to your grandma. I'm excited to hear how that went. Doesn't speak English. I try to be very visual. I have first readers who say you need to say more words, but I try to be visual. I'm hoping that your grandma who doesn't speak English can follow it, that it's slow enough that she can follow what's happening. La dee da da da. That's so cool. I have a friend, not my grandmother, but someone's grandmother. And she's like, my grandkids have the cube. If you taught me, if I could learn, then I could really impress them. And I'm like, yeah, you could. And I'm not teaching you the 3x3, I'm teaching you the 5x5. I'm teaching you all of them. So the first time we were sitting over Zoom, and I'm walking her through just the corners, and she's like, you know, I don't know that I can learn this. I'm sorry. But I'm teaching her the corners, and it's just, okay, formula A. This way, do this, do this, do this, do this, and she did it, and the color came to the top, and oh, she got so excited. She said, ding, 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 it did the thing. I'm so happy it worked. I'm like, okay, now rotate the top 1/4 turn and keep doing it. And she's like, it did it again. Made me so happy. I love when people who think they can't do it just give it a try. What am I doing here? Okay. Everything. Okay. Yes, your grandma. Great. Wonderful. Wonderful. I love it. I've always loved teaching the cube. Back when back in back when it was brand new in the early '80s, it wasn't this method. It wasn't anywhere near as cool as this method. It was an entire book that I had to memorize. Not that one. It's over on my other desk. The simple solution to Rubik's cubes was by Robert Nourse. It was the book that happened to end up in my 7-Eleven store. So that's how I learned the cube back then. But people would see it and they're like, "Oh, ooh, did you take it apart or did you take the stickers off?" And I'm like, "Nope." And I would but see, I was so proud of myself for doing the 3x3 that when the 4x4 came out, I'm like, oh. I thought I was clever. This 4x4 does not work the same way. And I could not learn the 4x4. This is way back before YouTube, you guys, before Google, before YouTube. In fact, I got halfway. I did it layer by layer. I got halfway done. I learned the cube. Yes. I learned the cube from a single A2 paper sheet. A2, that's the big one, right? 45 seconds solve on the 4x4. You guys are so amazing. But I'm gonna have the A and B made into a keychain because I think that would be fun. And then just sell it with every keychain that's sold. I have a keychain. Where's my keychains? Anyway. 4 times. Yes, we had a A2 printer given to us, and so we had to, like, I don't remember how we bought paper to print on it, but that was interesting. I'm just doing Formula B over and over, so I'm just going to keep yeah, it was old and someone gave it to it, but we replaced the ink cartridges, and it did still work. That reminded me of when I was a kid. My parents had a Xerox copier. It was about the size of, I guess, a laptop, a desktop. It was about the size of a desktop. It had a wheel, and you'd have to draw your thing on this special paper that had like carbon copy paper on it, and so it was a threefold. It was a paper, carbon copy, and then a wax paper kind of thing, and you have to draw your thing that you want, and then you clip it onto the cylinder, and you crank the wheel, and the cylinder went around and put the ink onto every piece of paper. That was fun. My mom also somehow found a wringer type washing machine. We would, the machine would do it, big tub, like you can't see my hand, big tub, and it would wash, and then it had this big 2 rolls of something covered in plastic, and big metal cylinders, yay big, covered in plastic, that came down together like this, and you would stick the cloth in between, and it would roll and squeeze the cloth out the other side. And you'd have to lie the cloth flat, because if it was bunchy here and vague here, empty here, then this part would get swished and this part wouldn't get swished, so you'd have to run it through. I got my hand stuck. Oh, scared the crap out of me. I had an interesting childhood. I'm not that old, but I was the youngest of 7 kids, and so my mom she'd come to school and everyone would say, "Hey, why is your grandma here?" And I'm like, "It's not my grandma, it's my mom." And so I have the experience of the generation older than me, as far as things my mom did when I was growing up. I also had, let's see, there we go. I also had a big brother who loved to tease. I have stories of my own about that. He was, yeah. One time, I grew up in Las Vegas, where it's the middle of the desert, very hot. And I was about 2 or 3. I was a toddler, just toddling around. And my brother had a bowl of something outside, and he kept going, "This is so good." I'm like, What is it? Can I have some?" "No, you're too little." "But I want some, you should share." "No, you're too little." And so, of course, the more he said I couldn't have it, the more I wanted it, because he never shared. So finally, he says, "It's snow." Middle of the desert. It's snow. He had gone to, it's embarrassing. He'd gone to the freezer with, what did I do? There we go, down, okay. Talking and not paying attention to what I'm keeping. He'd taken a bowl and spoon and gone to the freezer, and he'd scraped off the frost from inside the freezer that had been building up. And he was eating the frost, but because it was a hot summer day, but he wouldn't share. So when I finally figured out what it was, I'm like, "Okay, fine, you won't share with me, I will get my own." No. It was frost from the freezer, and he's like, "You can't have any." So we had this step stool that like doubled as a high chair, and it had, so that like the chair was like so that it could be up at the table size, but underneath, there was a little step stool that would pull out of the chair, and you'd step up 3 steps up, and then you could turn around and sit on the chair. Well, I have to use the step stool to climb up onto the chair, so I move the chair over to the freezer. And I climb up. And I can't open the door, so I had to climb back down. Yeah, so I had to climb back down again, pull the step stool out, climb back up onto the chair. Now I'm standing on the chair. And after going to all this trouble, I didn't have a bowl or a spoon. I think you guys can probably guess where this is going. So I couldn't, so yeah, I just stuck my tongue to the freezer thinking I could just eat it that way. And of course my tongue stuck to the freezer door. And the step stool that I was on was jittery and shaky, and I was terrified I was going to fall off. And my tongue stuck, and all I could do was just mumble and wave my hands frantically. Oh. My mom came into the house finally. Saw me. Oh dear me. Hold on. And of course, she did the warm water to loosen my tongue. Can I redo a tutorial for the corners? Oh yes, absolutely. Which cube do you want me to use? 3x3, 4x4, doesn't matter. They're all done the same way. I can do a 2x2. Which one do you want me to do? 4x4. Okay. All right. I would love. Also, hey, if you guys, anyone wants to do a streaming tutorial, just hit me up for any Friday evening or Saturday morning. I'll just attach my Zoom, and I can teach you guys. I can teach up to 3 to 4 people at a time on Zoom, live for my, and then I can game capture it on my Twitch, so we can do that. All right, so messing up a 4x4. Down, down, down. Turn, 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 turn. Turn, turn, turn. Over my eyes, I'm not looking. I tell my students when they make a mistake and they've messed up, I'm like, you just did the hardest thing. Actually, no lie, scrambling the cube, messing the cube up so you can practice some more is the hardest thing about learning, because when you're first learning, you see what you've done and you're like, oh, if I do anything else it'll mess it up. I don't want to mess up my cube. Let me just set it right there and just observe it for a while before I mess it up, because I'm so proud of myself for the one side that I did or whatever. And so and when you've mastered the cube, as you're trying to scramble it, you're like, well, these two pieces are still together, and would be easy. You start seeing the patterns of how to intuit it together, and so that's why you give your cube to someone else to scramble. Well, before we had computers would do scrambles for you, we'd give the cube to someone else to scramble. So scrambling. Do you want me to do color neutral, or do you want me to do yellow like I usually do? Okay, I'm just going to do yellow. I do yellow because yellow is a good first step for most of the cubes that I have that are not standard, like so. So I'm going to do yellow. And I'm going to do this one either this evening or tomorrow. Alright, so I'm doing yellow. Find a cube that's yellow. And I put it under my left thumb. So I'm holding the cube, front, front, top, whatever. But I'm only looking at the front of the cube as if it is rows and columns. I don't care. I mean, if I don't care about the back, I don't care about anything else. I just care about rows and columns. And formula A is one row and one column. And for working with corners, it's the bottom row and the right column. So this cube is correct, because I just selected it. I'm going to make the rest of the cube match it. So this one is the only one that's correct, and everything else is going to get moved. So this one, this is the corner that A is going to be working on. And so I look to see whether there is a yellow on this corner, and there is not. So I look at the corner below it to see if there's a yellow on that corner. If there's a yellow in one of these two corners, then formula A will bring it to the top. But if there's not, I'm just going to be switching non-yellows back and forth forever, and it's not helpful. So I rotate the bottom column, bottom row, by a 1/4 turn, until the answer is yes, until there is a yellow in this spot. And as long as there's a yellow in one of these two spots, formula A will bring the yellow to the top. So, bottom row, right column, out, down, in, up. This is where the action is taking place. So I'm protecting the cube by moving it away from the action, bringing the space down, moving the cube into the space, and the cube in the space back up again. So I keep doing that. That's not yellow. Out, down, and up. That's not, the yellow's on top, but not on the top row, but not the top face. So I have to keep going. Out, down, in, up. Out, down, in, up. And yellow is on top now. I'm only looking at the yellow. I'm not looking at the rest of the other sides of the cubes. I'm not looking at the edges. I'm not looking at the centers. I'm just working on the corners. So this is yellow. This is yellow. I rotate the top row to move that yellow out of the way and keep it safe. My left thumb is going to keep it safe. And now I'm working on this corner. Is there a yellow somewhere here? No. Is there a yellow below it? No. Rotate the corner, the bottom by quarter turns until the answer is yes. And there it is. And then formula A will bring it to the top. Now this is not the fastest or shortest moves, but instead of memorizing this way if it's clockwise and this way if it's counterclockwise and this way if it's left and this way if it's front, formula A, done as many times as you need, is going to get it there. And sometimes when you're starting off, just doing formula A until it solves, there's my yellow, so I'm going to do formula A, is faster than making the mental computations of which algorithm do I use, I forgot, kind of thing. Okay, so yellow is on top on all four corners. That's the first step. Yay, we did it. The next step is, for corners, is each corner has 3 colors, so we're looking at the other. I'm not talking down to you, honest. I'm giving you the spiel for brand new cubies who don't know what the standardized notations are. And we just got a first time chat. Hello, Cuber. Nice. I thank you for joining me. I would love a follow. I have 49 followers right now, and TikTok is telling me that I get something if I get 50. Are you new to my channel or to cubing in general? So yellow's on top. I'm looking at the other colors of the corners. I'm only looking at the corners though. So yellow does not equal green. Either all of them will match, none of them will match, or one of them will match. So green does not equal orange, but blue equals blue, and then the other ones don't match. So when one side matches, those corners face away from me, and formula A brought a color to the top. Formula B is going to move pieces around as needed. So I'm going to do formula B, which is I'm using the top row and the 2 outside columns. The rest of the cube I'm just ignoring as if it weren't there. So, yay, you followed me. So excited. Okay, if you have none matching, that's good. If you have none matching, then it doesn't matter which way you hold it, because we're going to do formula B and A to bring it back to the top, and then you will have one matching. So this just means you're doing this step twice. If you have none matching, I'm going to pretend that I have none matching by doing this, by holding the cube incorrectly. So rotate the top row, first up, reverse with the top row, second up, reverse, down, reverse, down. If you look at B, it is a mathematical 0. For every left there's a right, for every up there's a down. Every other move is horizontal. Every other horizontal is the reverse of the one before it. So I did that. Now one cube looks correct and the other 3 look scrambled, but it's not scrambled. I'm going to do formula A to bring my yellow back to the top again. Slide the top to protect it, get it out of the way, keep going. Okay, slide the yellow away, keep going, formula A. And now you should have one matching. Blue does not equal red, green does not equal blue, red does not equal green, but orange equals orange. So you should have one cube matching, which now you can face away from you. I'm waiting for you to know that you've caught up. Okay, one matching, you hold it away from you, yellow's on top, and then formula B, slide the top first up, slide the top second up, slide the top first down, slide the top second down, and don't get discouraged, just go right into formula A. It's going to be multiples of 2 this time. When your yellow comes to the top, slide the top row and top row only out of the way, and keep working on the new cube that's there. Formula A, we'll bring it to the top, slide that out of the way to protect it, keep going. Formula A brings it to the top. And this time, all of them should match. So the first 4 corners should be correct to each other. Yay, it worked, okay. First 4 corners are correct to each other. So what we're going to do, we're going to put them face down, we're going to ignore them, we're going to let them fend for themselves. And because formula A and formula B is not going to mess up anything other than what I'm working on, and so the bottom, if it's solved, it's going to stay solved. So we know that opposite yellow is white, but if you don't know, just look at each corner and see which one has, there's one color that's common to all of them. And if you have a hard time seeing it, it's not something that's attached to yellow. So it's not blue, not orange, not green, or not red. So we all know it's white. I'll refresh the stream. I'll be right back. Okay. All right. I'll just sit here, and talk about. So yes, my mom did rescue me from the freezer door, but before she did, she just started laughing. Hi, Doug. She started laughing. That's the only time I ever remember getting mad at my mom. I was just really mad at her. How dare she laugh when I was so scared. So, okay. You're back. Okay, so yellow is solid. First 4 corners are face down. We're leaving them alone. Second 4 corners where we're trying to bring the white to the top. This one has one. I'll just pick one that does. If it doesn't, I just either way. But I'm working on this cube. A is going to twist this cube. So at bottom, out, right, down, bottom, in, right, up. Do it twice. Do multiples of 2 because it's your second 4 corners. White's at the top, slide the top and only the top out of the way to keep it safe. Does this one have a white on the top? Yes. Slide it out of the way, keep it safe too, and we're going to work on this corner. So formula A until the white is on top. It'll always be less than 6. Okay. So, I have my, easy for me to say, look, my yellows are still correct to each other. They did not change. So, I have my white on top on all 4 corners now. And just like for the first 4 corners, the next step is to check the sides to see if they match. Red does not equal orange, green does not equal red, blue equals blue. Okay, so I do have a match. This is way too easy. I can't believe this is real. I love this. Thank you. Like I said, it takes me about an hour and a half to teach a brand new cuber, someone who has never had a cube before. I can teach me an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then they can take any one of my cubes with me as long as they know they can solve it. So one of my students took my 6x6 from me. I'm like, okay. All right, so I have a corner that matches. It goes to the back. If I don't have they were already solved for me. Okay, if I don't have one that matches, then it doesn't matter which way I hold it. Okay, that'd be great. Yes, get back to me after you do that. So formula B: move the top first up, top second up, top first down, top second down. This one stayed the same. If you look at my yellows, are still happy with each other, because formula B doesn't move anything but the 3 that I'm trying to move. So formula A to bring the white back to the top again. When it's safe, rotate the top to move it out of the way, and keep going with the next cube, the next corner. Just formula A till it comes to the top, slide it out of the way. Formula A till it comes to the top, and this time when the white's on top on all four corners, you check the sides, and they are correct to each other. So the first four corners are still correct to each other. The second four corners, not still my 6x6. I have another one. My favorite now is I just bought a 10x10. Where's my 10? I just bought a 10x10. It's as big as. Any bigger and I can't hold the cube. My hands are small. Okay, so the first four corners are correct to each other. The second four corners are correct to each other. All I got to do is rotate the top row as needed until the top and bottom are correct to each other. 21 by 21. I have an 11 and it is pillowed and it is so big. And I don't like the pillowed because when you have a lot of layers, I'll tap it to the table to help it line up so I can turn it, because if things aren't lined up correctly, it doesn't turn well. Only 1.5K bucks. You know what? Once I get enough subs, enough subscribers, once I get my book done, once I make this hobby pay for itself, I am disabled and retired, so I have no source of income right now outside of. So I really want to turn this into a paying gig. I want to be able to. I've signed up to live tutor at the library, waiting to hear back from them. That'd be fun. With Redux, yeah, and I don't do Redux. I would solve the 21 by 21 the exact same way I solve the 4x4. I would do the corners, and then the edges, and then the centers, and I would definitely do Formula A. Take a month to come. They have to put it together. Takes way too long to solve. Yeah, my 10. I solved my 10, and then I scrambled it again and got bored with it halfway through my second scramble, so I've set it down where my landlady can see it because I taught her. And so just, she saw the cube and she just picked it up and started fiddling with it, and then she realized what she was doing. She was like, I'm solving your cube. I'm sorry. I can scramble it again if you want. I'm like, nope, that's fine. I left it there for you. Okay, so the corners are correct to each other. And unless there's an absolute center, I'm done with Formula A. Magnetized. Okay. All right. So I'm going to demonstrate how I can do Formula A for one side. Normally, I put my yellow and white left and right, and I move the edge pieces out to the sides. But I'm going to demonstrate today, just because you're here and I want to, how I can do Formula A for the edges as well. Here's a white and green piece. It's going to be under right here. Anyway, do people pay you for the lessons? I would love to go to schools and teach. I have had people pay me for the lessons, but for right now, I say if you let me stream it, so I can help build my brand, I'll do it for free. So in real life, I'm supposed to have set my prices. I have not set prices yet, but once I get the book out, I'm working towards that. But right now, I'm just trying to build my brand. I want to be able to, when I find an agent, I want to be able to say, hey, yeah, you can see me on Twitch, you can see me on YouTube, you can see me on Wikipedia, and you really want to help me publish my book. So I'm doing Formula A. Someone has to go. Bye. Bye, Doug. I'll see you later. So I'm going to do Formula A. I'm going to do white. You should. Okay, so this white and green wants to go up here to this, where this white and green is. So this cube wants to go up here. So I move it out of the way. I move the space down. I move the cube into the space, and the cube in the space back up again. There's a blue and a white. All right. Have a date in the morning. Nice. Have fun. Have fun and good luck. Okay, so this blue and white, I'm going to need to put it under where it wants to be. Oops. under where it wants to be. Okay, so if it wants to land here, so I move it out of the way, bring the space down, move the cube into the space, and the cube in the space back up again. Doing formula A. Okay, here's a white and orange. It's under where it wants to be. So I move it away, move the space down, move the cube into the space. And while I'm here, let's see if any of the other pieces line up as well. They don't yet. And put the space back up again. Here's a this one wants to go here. Move it away, space down, move it in. See if I have any others that line up. I did. And put it back up again. Okay. Here is a white. Okay, here's another white. It's under where it wants to be. I move it away, move the cube down, put it into the space and back up again. This one also, move it under where it wants to be, move it away, down, in, up. These ones I can't really place that way, so I'm done for now. I'm going to continue with formula B. Yellow and white are left and right. So I had a request to do the corners. Was it just the corners, or do you want me to walk you through the rest of the 4x4 as well, or are we good? Okay, so I think I have 50 followers now. So excited. Okay, so let's see. If any of you have just joined me, I am Sunshine, and I created the ABCube method for solving the Rubik's Cube. It's a new method. It only came out in 2020, and it works on every size cube from the smallest to as big as you want to go. And it will, with a minor adaptation, solve the 3x3x9 as well. With just A and B, you don't need to, if you go to larger cubes, you don't need a parity algorithm. You don't need to, in fact, these are the only formulas you use. And it solves every size Rubik's Cube. Do the rest, please. Okay. All right, so yellow and white are left and right. I'm working on edge pieces. And at formula B, let me show you from a solved cube really quick. Formula B, when I did the corners, when I did the outside columns, worked on the corners. So up, up, down, down. When the columns are the outside ones, it moves corners around. Again. But formula B is still useful. All we're going to do is we're going to change the columns that we're using. And we're going to do that by determining which cube we want to move. So example, if I want to move this cube to this side, then I would still use the top row, but the two columns are where it's going to end up is the first up, and where it's going to land, where it began is the first up. So it's going to go here, this is beginning here. So my two columns are this first column, second column. So as you can, so move the cube away, move the first up, move it back into place, do the second up, away, down, in, down, and it moved three pieces around. It moved this cube to here, and this cube to here, and this one, so these three pieces moved around. If I wanted to move this piece to the other side, APB are fastest and most complex and most alg-based. It uses 800 algorithms in its basic shape, and ABCube for the easiest and most understandable. Forgot to close parentheses before basic shape. Yeah, I watched the movie about the two Rubik's Cube, Max and Felix, and they're like, there's hundreds. You can memorize hundreds of algorithms. And then what I learned from my book that I memorized was I had to remember which algorithm did what, and in which order to do it, because if I did this algorithm before this one, it would mess up this one, and so I'd have to do it again, and so everything. Anyway, so if I want to move this edge to this piece, then the top column and top row, and this is my column to where I want it to land, this is where it began. So up, up, down, down. So that's what I'm going to be doing on my 4x4 here. Yellow and white are left and right, and I'm looking for a yellow or white somewhere on the edge pieces in the middle. Here is one. It's yellow. I want my yellow to be on top, which it is. I'm bringing the corners to match the front color. So the corners match the front color. And it's going in the yellow direction. White's this way, yellow's this way, so it's going over here. So this is my first column, this is my second column, because this piece is moving to here. So I move it away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down, and this cube is placed, and I look for more yellow or white in the middle. Okay, these two are together, I can treat them as one. Treat them as one. So the corners match the front color. It's going in the yellow direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Those are placed. Yellow and white stay left and right, and I'm looking for more yellow or whites in the middle. Here's a yellow. It's in the front. I want it on top, so I flip the cube, but yellow and white are still left and right as dictated by the corners. I bring the corners together to match the front color. And it's going in the yellow direction, so not this way, it's going this way. So away, first up, back, second up, away, first down, back, second down. That is placed. I look for more yellow or white in the middle. I just hold my cube yellow and white left and right. There's nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. There's one. Just find a piece that's wrong, line it up, and throw it in its direction it wants to be. Away, so it's first up, second up, begin it away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. That cube is placed, and I'm looking for yellow or white somewhere in the middle. Okay, it's on front, I want it on top, so I flip the cube, but yellow and white are still left and right, as dictated by the corners. I move those corners together to line up, to match the front color. It's going the yellow direction, which is this way. So first up, second up, top row. Start by going away. Up, up, down, down. No yellow or white, no yellow or white, no yellow or white. There's a white. And you do this for as long as there's a yellow or white somewhere in the middle. I just find it, line it up, throw it in the direction. Corners match the front. It's going in the white direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down, and that was this one. Throws this one out into the middle where I can work on it. Yellow and white are left and right. Bring the corners to match the front color. Determine its direction. It's going this way. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. It's mathematical 0, 8 moves. You just keep over and over. So you can't forget it because it's all you ever do, and you can't forget which rows you're working on because the cube itself dictates what you have to do. Now I ran out of yellow and whites in the middle, so now I look to see if the edges are done. This one is incorrect, and this one's incorrect. So I line it up, so I have an incorrect piece that I want to work out. So this piece does not belong here. So I'm going to apply Formula B so that it displaces this piece. So this is my top row, this is my first column. I'm not really sure what my second column is. The bigger the cubes get, it doesn't matter. You don't have to know to begin with because this cube is going to end up in that column and tell me. So away, up, in, this is my column, up, away, down, back, down, and that put a garbage piece here, but moved a yellow or white out into the middle so I could work on it. So, yellow and white are left and right, corners match the front, it's going in the yellow direction, this is my first up, this is my second up. because this cube tells me that's where it wants to be. If this was going in this direction, this would be my first, this would be my second. So the cube itself tells you what your columns are, so you can't get lost. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. I say you can't get lost, but I do get lost sometimes. And when I do, I just say, wow, that's a good scramble. I can practice some more. There are no mistakes, just happy little accidents. Okay, yellow and white are left and right. Bring the corners to match the front color. Determine that it's going in the white direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. That is placed. No more yellow or white in the middle, so I look to see, and the edges are placed. I did the whites, the centers using A, just because I could to demonstrate. So, corners are done, opposite edges are done. So formula A is moving something from the top front to the front left or the front right. So what I need to do is I need to make that advantageous. I take my white space and put it face down, and it is down. It is now down for the rest of the cage. It is down forever. I'm not going to use white anymore. But the white is going to be my visual clue as to which columns I'm working on, so I don't get lost. So I'm checking the side corners. This one's correct. This one is not. Find one that's not. Any one that's not. And I'm going to do formula A to displace this cube out to the top where I can work on it. So I'm ignoring everything but the cube I'm working on. So top row, this is my first column. This piece will show me what my second column is. So away, up, in, this is my second column, up, reverse, and the white's my visual clue, reverse my visual clue down. And now, I didn't really make a big deal about this, but I'm ignoring everything but the one cube I want to place. Okay, so I'm ignoring all of the yellows on the top, and I'm looking only for the piece that doesn't have yellow. And the yellow that I displaced will eventually find its way back to the top as I start placing the side pieces. But so as long as there's a piece that's not yellow, I just place it, and as soon as the yellow comes back to the top, then I do an evaluation. So I hold the top row, front color is red, so I move the cube so that the corners match the front row. It's going in the green direction, so this way. So top row, first column, second column. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Find a piece that's not yellow on top and work on with that one. Corners already match the front. It's going in the blue direction. So bring the corners match the front, throw it in that direction. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. That cube is placed. I'm ignoring everything on the top that's yellow. Oopsie. Okay. Hold the top, remove the cube till the corners match the front. Bottom corners, the top corners we're ignoring. Bottom corners match the front. Determine which direction it's going. And move it away, first up, back, second up, away, first down, back, second down. Okay, so that cube is placed, and I'm looking at the one I just put up top. Again, move the cube so the corners match the front, determine its direction, and move it away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. This cube is placed, and I'm looking for the cube that's not yellow. Move the corners to match the front. Determine its direction. It's the red direction. First, second. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And look at that. My yellow moved back to the top again. So I set the top, and I make a determination. So this one's correct, this one's not. These ones are. This one's correct, this one's not. Okay, so I find one that's incorrect. This is going to have a parity I'm going to demonstrate. So first, I find a piece that's incorrect, and I throw displace one of my yellows into that spot so that I can work on placing that one. White again is still on the bottom. It's going to stay there. Top row, first column, and this will tell me what my second column is. So up, there it is, second up, down, and down. So I work with a piece that's not yellow. Corners match the front. It's going in, determine its direction, and move it away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. That one's placed. Look for something that does not have yellow. And corners match the front, determine its direction, away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. That's placed. Yellow made its way back to the top. Doesn't matter if it's correct, it just matters that it made its way back up to the top. And so now that yellow's on top, I look to see if they're correct. These ones are correct, these ones are correct, these ones are correct. They're all correct. All the sides are correct. Okay, all sides are correct. And when I forced my parity to show up as an opposite, because that's what I was doing when I was only placing one row at a time. I kept one side stable, so the parity would have to show up in this formula. Parity can show up anywhere if you're doing different methods, but every parity is a lie. The cake is a lie. Every parity is a lie. There's never two pieces. Formula B always moves three pieces around because of the mathematics of the cube. Formula B, there will always be three pieces to move around. It looks like this piece wants to go here, this piece wants to go here, and all of the other edges are correct. Well, they're not. They only look correct. The third piece, there are always two. If you only see two pieces, the third piece that you can't see is the piece that you cannot see. It is literally the slice that the parity is on. Both of the parities are just both of the cubies are just one of the cubies. Like if these two are the ones that need to switch, it doesn't matter. Any row that has the parity on it is the row that is quarter turn off, and if you make that quarter turn, by the way, I had my white on top. Now I had white down, yellow on top. I'm now changing my cube so the orange on top, so I can make this my row. When you take this row that has the parity and you make one quarter turn, it doesn't matter which way, it doesn't matter as long as it's one quarter turn, then you will have, of those two edge pieces that were wrong, you now have one edge piece that's correct and three that need to be swapped. And which means you probably have an algorithm that swaps those three, but if you don't, I can keep going with my formula B. I'm just going to pick one of the pieces that's wrong, bring it to the formula B, brings it to the top, and then I place it, make the corners match the front. It's going in the white direction, away, first up, back, second up, away, first down, back, second down, and that put another incorrect piece here, so I can place it. Corners match the front. It's going in the white direction, so away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And another piece that's not my top color. Line it up so the corners match the front. It's going in the green direction, away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And look at that, my color made it back to the top. And it is solved. So now the cage is done. And in doing that quarter turn, this is why I always, this is an example of why I do the centers last. In doing that quarter turn and not paying attention, I displace some of my centers. That's easily solved but with my formula A, away, down, back, up. But if you the single quarter turn that undoes the parity can mess up your centers if you do the centers first. So corners are done correct to each other, edges are done correct to the corners and each other, and you'll notice I did not spend time. Pop-ups, got to get rid of pop-ups. Boom, boom. I did not spend time looking when I found the. I did not spend time looking for matching edges to place them together as part of the reduction method. That seems to me to be redundant. And when you do that, when you start treating the edge pieces as a single unit, you are more likely to create a parity than if you just let the pieces fall on their own. So I just find a piece, throw it in this direction, find a piece, throw it in this direction until they're all solved. And I don't have to look at where is that piece. How do I put those two together? So for me, it's easier. So edges are done. Now we're all that's left is centers. Is everybody still here? Somebody say hi. Oh, that looks like a new name. Hi. If you've just joined us, I am Sunshine, and I'm the creator of the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. And this is where I spend time playing with other people who like to solve Rubik's Cubes. I do teach this method, and if you bring me your non-cuber friends, I'll be happy to teach them. I can incorporate Zoom with my Twitch, and I can teach up to 3 people at a time. And if you let me stream it to build my brand, the tutoring is free for now. So if you've got a non-cuber friend who says, I've seen you put in the hours, I know you've spent months and years learning how to do this, but I don't have that patience. Can you just tell me what the secret is? I just want to be able to solve it. I don't care about fast. Just tell me what the secret is. And you're like, there's no secret. You just have to practice. You just have to learn. You just have, same way I did. You just got to get it. Just put in the hours. Well, this is the secret. If they want a secret, bring them to me. I told my landlord saw my cubes, and she's like, oh, that's fun. You can do cubes. And I'm like, yeah. Do you want to learn? She says, oh, I've had brain injury and I have memory problems, and I can't do learning new things. It just doesn't work for me. But I'm glad that you have fun with it. And I'm like, well, would you like to try? And so I sat down with her. I just printed out the A and B on a piece of paper for her, and I showed her how it works. And she's like, wow. This works. Thank you. And she was so excited that it was working that she just devoted 2 days to it, and then she'd mastered every cube. Like most people that I teach, it took an actual teach time between 1.5 hours and 2 hours. But like I said, I just had my 10 by half solved, and I put it down for her, and she just picked it up and started solving it. So when I printed this A and B out for her, she brought it back to me, and she says, here, you have to autograph this for me, because I know you're going to, I want to have it when I want to have me, I say, I got her autograph before the book was published. I'm like, okay, great. So I autographed it for her, and she put it in her scrapbook. So that was fun. And, all right, so corners are done, edges are done. Now we work on centers. The white's done because I use Formula A for one side. You can do that, but you can't use Formula A for the other sides. But again, it's Formula B, and when you use Formula B, when you used the outside columns, it worked on corners. When you use the outer column and an inner column, it worked on edges. And when you're working on a centerpiece, and you do it, if you move 2 centerpieces, you're working with centers. As to demonstrate, let me move this piece to the top. Slide to make sure it's going to line up to something that can be displaced, which in this case it's going to displace. It doesn't matter. So first up is where the row that has the column that has the cube you're moving. Rotate the top so that cube comes into a separate column. That is your second column up. And because we did the corners and edges first, those edges are going to be there to remind you what row you're on. So reverse, these edges line up, so it goes down. Reverse, edges line up, so it goes down. So I've just moved this yellow piece from here to here. Wasn't from here to here. It looks like there's two pieces that need to be switched. There are never two pieces that need to be switched. There's always three. And with the centerpieces, if it looks like two, it's because the two of the ones you're moving are the same color, so you didn't tell that they switched. But for example, if I want to move this yellow up into one of these blue places, the blue is not going to be where the yellow is. Up, up, down, down. The yellow was here, it moved up. This blue cube moved here, and this red piece moved from here to here. So there's always three pieces to move, which is coincidental. Saves you a lot of time if you've taken your cube apart to clean it or lube it. Because when you for the 3x3, you have to, when you take it apart, you have to reassemble it solved, or you might be in an unsolvable position, an impossible position. And so for any cube that can only be correctly in one place, like this green, orange, and yellow piece can only correctly be opposite this green, yellow, and white piece. The edge pieces can only be where they are, but the centerpieces, this orange piece could be correctly next to the corner that's red, that's orange, green, and yellow, or it can be correctly placed next to the corner that's orange and green and white, or it can be correctly placed. It can be correctly placed in one of four pieces, and every single center piece here can be correct in one of four places. So because of the mathematics of the cube, you will always be able to solve it. So when you're reassembling your big cubes, you don't have to sort them by color. You only have to sort them by shape, except for the corners, the edges, and the absolute center. So that might save you some time. All right, centers, last thing to do. Okay, pick a cubie that's wrong. Any cubie that's wrong. Hold it on the front face. The color, move its color so it's the colors on top, because formula B is going to move a piece from the front to the top. So it's a red, so red's on top. And it's going to land right here. So I can bring down either the blue or the yellow, green or the yellow, blah, blah, blah. We want to bring down the blue. So line it up so it's advantageous. And then you bring, this is your first up. So that's your first horizontal, is lining it up so it's advantageous. Sometimes you don't have to. And then you've got your first up. Move it to a separate column. This way is not a separate column, so that doesn't work. It has to go to a separate column. Second up. Reverse, and again my edges are reminding me where I am. Reverse, down. Set the top and continue. Pick any other piece. Here's a yellow. Hold it so the yellow is on top. It's going to land here. So let's bring the blue down. So there's my top turn. Up, slide to a different column. Second up, reverse, down, reverse, down. Set the top and keep going. Now, when you're dealing with diagonal centers, the cube itself dictates which way you have to move the cube. But when you're dealing with floater centers, with the obliques or the plus centers, then there's more leeway, more flexibility. So this orange is going to come and land right here. I can bring down the green or the red. Let's line up the red since it's an opposite. So that's my top. That's my top row. That's my top row. Then I go first up, change to a different column. Second up, reverse, and my edges line up, and reverse down. Set the top and keep going. Here's a green. Okay, green's on top. I can bring down, it's going to land here. Bring down a blue. So I go up, slide the top, second up, slide the top back, first down, second down. So it's up, up, down, down. Every other move is horizontal. Here's another green. Green's on top. Line it up with the blue. Up, slide, up, reverse, down, reverse, down. Okay, here's a yellow. Just pick any piece, any cubie that's wrong. Hold it so that it's going to land on the top. Line it up so that it's a good exchange. Up, slide, up, reverse, down, slide, down. Okay, here's a red. It's lined up, slide, up, reverse, down, set the top, and keep going. Pick a cubie that's wrong, any one. Hold it so that its color's on top. Up, slide, up, reverse, down, Now it doesn't, and so it doesn't matter whether you do, Formula A and Formula B are not going to mess up whatever else is left of your cube, because it only moves the 3 pieces that you want to move. One thing that's fun in this is that I've noticed that if you learn this method, then you find other cubers who have learned more complicated methods, and inevitably they'll take a break and come back to it, and then they'll start to resolve, and there'll be one algorithm they can't remember. Doesn't matter whether it's your corners or edges or centers, doesn't matter. There'll be one algorithm they just can't remember. So they'll put the cube down in a 98% solved state. And then if you can pick up the cube and just apply Formula B to the piece that's still incorrect, and you've solved this cube. And now everyone always assumes that everyone else is just like them. So if they spent months and years learning the cube and then they forgot, they will think that you spent that my student that spent months and years learning the cube and learned everything that they learned and remembers the part that they forgot. So it's the same as non-cubers back in the 80s when you can solve a cube like, wow, you must be a genius, you know. But again, algorithms are just cheat codes. If you know the cheat codes that solve the cube, you can do the cube. But this, because it's just 2 things to remember, you can look and see how the cube is moving with each movement and what it does. And like if you do want to learn a new algorithm, the easiest way to learn it is to practice it from a solved cube so you can see what that algorithm moved around and when that will be advantageous. So there it is. That's my Friday morning. Thank you guys for coming. I think that I made it to 50 followers today. So I'm excited. I will be back here this evening to play some more. Check my schedule. Follow me, and you don't have to follow me. You can already know. So yeah, I'll be here this evening and tomorrow morning, just to play because it's fun. So bring me your non-cuber friends, and I will teach them. And wish me luck on getting an agent. I'm trying to find an agent. But I want to pair. I don't want to just self-publish because I know cubes, but I don't know publishing. I want someone who's an expert on publishing to help me get my book published, and I want to be able to pair it up with a toy manufacturer so that it can be sold with the cubes. I want it to be sold either with the 5x5 or with the trainer set of the 2 through 5 cubes, because having this information without a cube in your hand is not helpful. So I wanted to sell it with cubes, and I wanted to be able to sell it with every trainer set that comes out. All right, that's it for the morning. I will be back here this afternoon. I already said that. You guys go have a wonderful day, and I will see you later.